Take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment. Now let it go. You've just performed an action so fundamental to life, you do it more than 20,000 times a day without a second thought. But have you ever truly considered the microscopic miracle that just occurred inside you? In that single breath, you initiated an incredible high-speed delivery service. A journey that transports a vital element from the air all around you to the deepest, most remote parts of your body. This isn't just about your chest rising and falling. It's the story of how life itself is fueled, moment by moment. Today, we're going on that journey, following the path of oxygen from a simple inhalation all the way to the trillions of cells that depend on it to survive. Our journey begins not in the lungs, but with the air you draw in through your nose or mouth. This air is a mixture of gases, but our hero molecule is oxygen. As you inhale, the air is warmed, humidified, and filtered as it travels down your pharynx, past your larynx or voice box, and into the trachea, your main windpipe. The trachea soon splits into two large tubes called the primary bronchi, one for each lung. From here, the path begins to branch like a tree growing upside down. The bronchi divide into smaller and smaller secondary and tertiary bronchi, which in turn divide into even tinier tubes called bronchioles. This intricate branching network ensures that the air is distributed evenly and deeply throughout the entire lung tissue, guiding it toward its ultimate destination. It's a beautifully efficient system, designed to get a precious cargo exactly where it needs to go. As we travel deeper, the environment changes. The rigid cartilage-supported airways give way to a soft, spongy landscape. This is the parenchyma of the lungs, the functional tissue. If you could unfold the entirety of your lung's internal surface area, it would cover an area roughly the size of a tennis court. This vast expanse is crucial for the main event of respiration. Our journey through the ever-narrowing bronchioles is almost complete. We are now entering the final, most delicate part of the respiratory tree. The respiratory bronchioles, which lead into alveolar ducts, and finally, we arrive at our destination. We have reached the heart of the gas exchange system, a place of immense importance, where the outside world truly meets your inner world. This is the domain of the alveoli. Imagine arriving in a chamber filled with countless clusters of microscopic hollow grapes. These are the alveoli. You have approximately 300 to 500 million of these tiny air sacs in your lungs. Their sheer number creates that massive surface area we mentioned. But what's truly remarkable is their structure. The wall of each alveolus is incredibly thin, made of a single layer of specialized cells called pneumocytes. This thinness is not a design flaw, it is its greatest feature. It's a delicate barrier, engineered for maximum efficiency. The air you breathed in just moments ago now fills these millions of tiny sacs, bringing a high concentration of oxygen molecules to the very edge of your bloodstream, ready for the most critical exchange of your life, an exchange that happens silently and continuously with every breath. Wrapped around each and every alveolus is a dense web-like network of the body's smallest blood vessels, the capillaries. Just like the alveoli, the walls of these capillaries are also only 1 cell thick. This means that the barrier separating the air in your lungs from the blood in your body is a membrane less than a micron thick, thinner than a strand of spider silk. This incredibly thin structure is called the respiratory membrane. Here, physics takes over in a process called simple diffusion. The blood arriving from the body's tissues is low in oxygen and high in a waste gas, carbon dioxide. The air in the alveoli, however, is rich in oxygen and low in carbon dioxide. Molecules naturally move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. In an instant, oxygen molecules effortlessly pass from the alveoli into the blood, while carbon dioxide molecules travel in the opposite direction from the blood into the alveoli, ready to be exhaled. Once an oxygen molecule crosses the respiratory membrane and enters a capillary, its journey is far from over. It is now floating in the plasma of your blood, but it needs a dedicated transport system to be carried efficiently. Enter the red blood cell and its star passenger, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a complex protein found within every red blood cell, and it has a special affinity for oxygen. As the red blood cells flow through the lung capillaries, the hemoglobin molecules act like powerful magnets or a fleet of microscopic taxis, snatching up oxygen molecules and binding to them. A single red blood cell contains about 270 million hemoglobin molecules, each capable of carrying 4 oxygen molecules. This binding process is so efficient that it increases the oxygen-carrying capacity of your blood by about 70 times. The blood, now transformed from a deoxygenated bluish-red to a vibrant bright scarlet, is fully loaded and ready for its life-giving mission. The newly oxygenated blood, rich and bright red, now leaves the lungs through the pulmonary veins. This is one of the few instances in the body where veins carry oxygenated blood. This blood travels directly to the left side of your heart, specifically entering the left atrium, and then passing into the powerful left ventricle. With a mighty contraction, the left ventricle pumps this oxygen-rich blood into the aorta, the largest artery in your body. From the aorta, the blood is distributed through an ever-branching network of arteries and smaller arterioles, reaching every corner of your existence. From the tips of your toes to the frontal lobe of your brain, no cell is too remote. This systemic circulation is a marvel of biological engineering, ensuring that the oxygen you just inhaled a few seconds ago is rapidly delivered to where it's needed most. Our oxygen molecule, securely bound to hemoglobin inside a red blood cell, is now rushing through a capillary located deep within a working muscle. Here, the environment is the opposite of what it was in the lungs. The muscle cells have been actively using oxygen to create energy, so the concentration of oxygen within the tissue is very low. This change in the local environment, lower oxygen levels, and slightly higher acidity from metabolic byproducts, signals the hemoglobin to change its shape and release its precious cargo. The oxygen molecule detaches, diffuses out of the red blood cell, across the capillary wall, through the interstitial fluid, and finally it passes through the cell membrane of the muscle cell. It has reached its final destination. It has been delivered from the outside world directly to the doorstep of the cell that needs it. But why does the cell need this oxygen so desperately? Inside the muscle cell, our oxygen molecule finds its way to tiny organelles called mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouses of the cell. Here, a process called cellular respiration takes place. This is where the energy stored in the food you eat, like glucose, is converted into a usable form of chemical energy called adenosine triphosphate or ATP. Oxygen plays the role of the final electron acceptor in this intricate chemical assembly line. Without oxygen, this highly efficient process of energy production would grind to a halt, and cells would be unable to perform their vital functions. That single oxygen molecule allows the cell to unlock the energy it needs to contract, to repair itself, to communicate, in short, to live. As oxygen is delivered and used, the cell produces a waste product, carbon dioxide. The delivery process is a two-way street. While oxygen enters the cell, carbon dioxide diffuses out of it, moving from a high concentration in the tissue to a lower concentration in the blood. Some of this carbon dioxide dissolves in the plasma, some binds to hemoglobin, but most of it is converted into bicarbonate ions for transport. The red blood cells now carrying this waste product begin their return journey. They travel through the veins back to the right side of the heart, which then pumps this deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Once back in the alveolar capillaries, the process reverses. Carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the alveoli, and with your next exhalation, its journey out of the body is complete, making room for the next wave of life-giving oxygen. This entire breathtakingly complex journey is fragile. The delicate, single-cell walls of the alveoli are susceptible to damage. Inhaled irritants like tobacco smoke, air pollutants, dust, and airborne pathogens can cause inflammation and harm the very membrane where this critical gas exchange occurs. Conditions like emphysema or fibrosis can thicken or destroy alveolar walls, making it harder for oxygen to diffuse into the blood. Taking care of your lungs is taking care of your entire body's energy supply line. Regular aerobic exercise strengthens your respiratory muscles, improving lung capacity and efficiency. Avoiding smoking and minimizing exposure to polluted air are the most important steps you can take to protect these millions of tiny essential air sacs, ensuring they can do their job for a lifetime. From a simple unconscious breath to fueling the intricate machinery of life inside a single cell, the journey of oxygen is a testament to the elegance and efficiency of the human body. It's a silent, continuous cycle that connects us to the very air we breathe, an unnoticed symphony of physics and biology happening within you right now. Every beat of your heart, every thought in your mind, every movement you make is powered by this fundamental process. If you found this journey inside your own body fascinating, help us explore more of these wonders. Subscribe to the channel for more content that decodes the marvels of human health. And to take your health knowledge a step further and to better understand your body, download our dedicated app, which you can find in the description and in our bio. Thank you for watching.